Tim Bradley, a former champion and now a boxing commentator, has a strong message for Shakur Stevenson. Ignore the critics, keep boxing defensively, and just focus on securing your victories and paychecks. Bradley believes that Stevenson should not let outside opinions influence his approach and should continue using his slick defensive style, even if some fans find it unexciting. According to Bradley, true greatness isn't about pleasing the crowd. It's about mastering the sport, staying undefeated, and building a legacy. However, this perspective clashes with what modern boxing fans want. Today's audience craves high-action fights, knockouts, and explosive exchanges, which is why fighters with aggressive styles tend to gain more popularity. The sport has evolved, and defensive, safety-first fighters like Stevenson often struggle to capture mainstream attention in an era filled with entertainment choices. Bradley defends Stevenson by drawing a comparison to Floyd Mayweather Jr., reminding fans that there was a time when Floyd was also labeled as boring. Despite the criticism, Mayweather became one of the wealthiest athletes in history, proving that winning and smart business decisions matter more than being entertaining in the ring. However, what Bradley doesn't mention is that Mayweather's rise to superstardom happened in a very different era. When Floyd was at his peak, MMA wasn't as popular as it is today, and boxing fans didn't have as many alternative forms of entertainment. Back then, boxing was still one of the top combat sports in the world, and Mayweather's defensive brilliance, combined with his strategic trash talk, kept him relevant. If Mayweather came up in today's fight scene, he likely wouldn't be the same pay-per-view attraction without the dramatic build-ups and verbal warfare that helped him sell fights. For Stevenson, the reality is much harsher. Unlike Mayweather, who had exceptional counterpunching ability and enough power to keep opponents honest, Stevenson lacks knockout power. This puts him in a difficult position because even if he wanted to be more exciting, he doesn't have the punching strength to dominate fights with aggression. If he changes his style and becomes more offensive, he risks exposing himself to dangerous exchanges that could put him in trouble. On the other hand, if he continues fighting defensively, he might struggle to draw crowds and generate big pay-per-view sales. Bradley insists that Stevenson should stick to his defensive approach and remain confident that success will follow. However, the evidence suggests otherwise. While Stevenson is undeniably skilled, he hasn't become the star that many expected him to be. He lags behind younger, more explosive fighters who capture fan interest with their thrilling performances. Fighters like Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, and even Ryan Garcia bring more excitement to the sport, which is why they command larger audiences. Stevenson may be a purist's dream, but for the casual boxing fan, his fights often fail to deliver the drama that makes boxing a global spectacle. At the core of this debate is a key question. Should boxers prioritize winning at all costs, even if it means sacrificing entertainment value? Or should they adapt to the demands of modern fans, even if it puts them at greater risk inside the ring? Bradley is firm in his belief that Stevenson should not change, but the reality is that without exciting fights, it's difficult to become a major draw in today's boxing landscape. Stevenson may continue to dominate opponents with his technical brilliance, but if fans aren't watching, does it even matter? Stevenson finds himself in a unique dilemma where his skills are undeniable, yet his appeal to the broader boxing audience remains limited. While hardcore boxing enthusiasts appreciate his footwork, timing, and defensive mastery, casual fans, who make up the majority of pay-per-view buyers, often find his fights dull. The sport thrives on excitement, knockouts, and moments of raw aggression, elements that Stevenson's fights rarely provide. This is why, despite being one of the most talented fighters in the lightweight division, he struggles to generate the same level of hype as his contemporaries. Another factor working against Stevenson is the current state of boxing promotion. Fighters today are not only expected to perform in the ring, but also to sell fights through personality and showmanship. Mayweather mastered the art of building anticipation through trash talk and rivalries, turning his defensive style into part of a larger spectacle. Stevenson, on the other hand, has not embraced this aspect of the business. While he occasionally calls out opponents, he lacks the charisma and controversy that fighters like Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia use to keep fans engaged. Without a compelling narrative outside the ring, it becomes even harder for him to gain mainstream traction.